Hello, welcome to yoga class today. Today's class is called YogAsana. Asana is the Sanskrit word for posture. So today in our class, we are going to explore about a dozen postures and we'll be learning the names in English and in Sanskrit. So starting us off, I'm in Tadasana, mountain pose. It's very common to hear asana at the end of each posture when you hear the name in Sanskrit. So go ahead and come into your space. Decide how you want to stand. When you look down to your feet, you can have your big toes together with a little space between the heels. Or you can open your feet to hip distance. So when you look down to your feet, there's enough space for one more foot of yours to fit in the middle. So we don't want to open our feet to our outer hips, but rather take your hands to the bony bits at the front of the hips, and then the feet should be in line there. Now you might lift your toes, spread them, and just let yourself get really grounded in your space. You might feel your body just shifting around, getting grounded, getting centered. See if you can relax your shoulders away from your ears. And as you come into the comfort of your standing posture, Tadasana, mountain pose, arms by your sides, palms facing forward, continue to let the shoulders relax down away from the ears. Know that we're going to be practicing Ujjayi Pranayama breath. So Ujjayi Pranayama is known as the ocean sounding breath. It's also known as the victorious breath. And some people refer to it as the Darth Vader breath. So you'll understand why once you have your experience with it and hear what it sounds like. Ujjayi Pranayama has been used for thousands of years to enhance the yoga practice. The sound helps us to sync the breath with the movement. So this will make the practice more rhythmic. There's no doubt about the profound connection between the breath and the mind. Breath is life. Breath is vital. Pranayama means life force energy. It's the one thing that we absolutely cannot live without. But yet we rarely take the time to observe and acknowledge all of the magic, how we breathe. So we're going to spend some time doing that now. Staying in your standing foundation, lift one hand up to your face. So you're not actually going to touch your face, but rather have your hand in front of your face. Imagine that your hand is a mirror in front of you, and you're going to try to fog this mirror. So you're going to inhale through your nostrils. When you're ready to exhale, open your mouth. Feel your breath on your hand. Let's try that again. Inhale through the nostrils. Exhale, open the mouth. Feel that breath on the hand. Listen to the sound of each exhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Now continue to breathe in that way. Notice that that sound is coming from the base of the throat, the glottis muscle. Feel the heat exiting your body and touching your hand. Take one more round. Now inhale through the nostrils. Remove your hand. Exhale. Same sound, but keep the mouth closed. Hear that sound. Inhale and exhaling through the nostrils, keeping the mouth closed. Tune into your Ujjayi Pranayama breath. I know that if this is the first time trying it, it might be a little confusing. You might have to continue to practice to find that sound, but stick with it. Explore a few more rounds of Ujjayi Pranayama breath. Couple more times. One more round. Starting our practice with this breath, allowing us to get energized. Now, just take a moment to shift, to transition to your natural breath, the way that you breathe without force or control. We're going to take some shoulder rolls, giving ourselves time to release any tension from the upper back, the shoulder, neck area. So in your standing position, take a micro bend in your knees, pull your belly button towards your spine. This is going to be a more comfortable way, a safer alignment for your low back. Now, moving with the breath, as you inhale, lift the shoulders up to the ears, and as you exhale, take the shoulders back and down. And again, inhale, lift the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, take the shoulders back and down. Continue to move in this way. And as your movement follows your breath, take inventory of how this part of your body is feeling today. Shoulder rolls from Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's take one more inhale, lift, exhale, shoulders back and down. Now really create space from the ears to the shoulders. Inhale, lift the arms up. Now as you exhale, connect palms, bring the thumbs down the midline, hinge at the hips. Take your time to come into a standing forward fold. Now we've got options here. We can let the arms dangle. We can take our hands to opposite elbows, framing our head with our arms. We can bend our knees if the hamstrings are tight. And if balance or vertigo is an issue today, then I'd like to offer you the option of using the blocks to support the hands so that you're taking a half lift. So just try the options, see which one is best supporting your body today, and that's going to be the one that you'll want to take. So I'm going to demonstrate from the standing forward fold. Now, standing forward fold in Sanskrit is known as Uttanasana. If you're in the half lift, this is Ardha Uttanasana. If you're in the full forward fold of Uttanasana, whether the arms are dangling or the hands are at the elbows, know that you're stretching the entire back of the body. If you're holding your head up, let it go. Release the head, release the neck. Let the top of the head point down to the mat and breathe. Exhale, let it go. Let the spine decompress. Let the muscles of the back stretch. If the hamstrings are more open, you can straighten the legs. If that is uncomfortable, bend the knees. Now you could take an option to swing the arms to the left and then swing the arms to the right if you'd like a different variation. This will feel really nice for the side body. Remember to let the head go. There's no need to hold it up. And if moving from side to side makes you feel out of balance or dizzy, just keep yourself centered. And we'll all meet at center. If your hands are holding onto your elbows, release the arms. Take your palms to your shins. Take a half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Practice reaching the crown of your head forward. Now notice if the hamstrings are opening more. And remember, if that's uncomfortable, you can take a little bend in the knees. So you decide what your body needs at this point of your practice. And then from here, bend the knees, press the feet to the mat, come into Tadasana, mountain pose. So we've already been through Tadasana, Uttanasana, and Ardha Uttanasana. Now we're going to add on to our Yoga Asana, learning the names of these postures. Walk your feet to the top of the mat if your feet aren't there already. Open the feet hip distance. Little micro bend in the knees. Take your hands to your hips. Now shift weight into the right foot. Pick up the left foot. Step it back towards the back of the mat. So it's up to you how far you want that distance to be. Some of us will want it further. Some of us will find more comfort with it closer up. So bend that right knee. When you look to your left foot, it's at 45 degrees. Now this is different than the crescent lunge. In the crescent lunge, we're on our toes. We want to be in warrior one. 45 degrees for the back foot. Bend at the right knee. So the right knee is tracking above the right ankle. So this is called Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1. To complete the pose, we'll lift the arms up and we'll gaze forward. Now feel the strength in the legs. Feel the foundation at the feet. From here, we're going to transition from Virabhadrasana 1 to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. To get into the pose, we'll open the arms, fingers reach opposite directions, and that left foot now comes to 90 degrees. That means that the pinky edge of the left foot is in line with the back of the mat. When we look down to our feet, we want to bring the right heel in line with the left heel, or you can try the right heel in line with the arch of the left foot. The right knee stays bent. Fingers are reaching opposite directions. Now gaze and look to your right middle finger. Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana. You want to make sure that your body is centered in Warrior 2. So make sure that you're not shifting forward and make sure you're not shifting back. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, strong legs, strong foundation. Now we can incorporate some movement here. As we inhale, we can straighten the right leg and lift the arms up. And then as we exhale, we can come back into our Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. And then again, inhale, lift the arms up, straighten the leg. Exhale, back to Warrior 2. And then we'll take it one more time. Coming into Warrior 2. From here, we're going to transition into Trikonasana, which is triangle pose. To set it up, we'll press into the right foot, straighten the right leg. Now, reach your right fingers forward. That left hip will pop back, and then rotate the arms. So you're bringing your right fingers down. Maybe your hand comes to your inner thigh. The left fingers are reaching up. Now, maybe you look up to the ceiling. That's going to help swivel the chest so that you're not collapsing. Think about the arms stacking. Imagine that you're up against a wall and you want that left shoulder, left hip to touch the wall. Now hold and breathe. Feel a stretch at the right inner thigh. Feel the strength in your standing pose. And on your next inhale, come back to Warrior 2. Straighten the leg, bring the arms down. Now we're going to set it up for the other side. So rotate the right toes in the same direction as the left toes. So all 10 toes are facing the same direction. Now we're in a wide-legged stance. You want to pause here and make sure that you feel comfortable in this wide-legged stance. You don't want to feel like your feet are going to split apart or your legs are going to split apart. We're just pausing here to set it up on the other side. So we're coming into the other side. We're going to practice Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, and Trikonasana, triangle. So now the left toes are going to turn and rotate to the short end of the mat. For me, that's the back of the mat. And then you're going to bend the knee. Now the legs are set up for warrior two, but we want to start with warrior one. So the right foot, the back foot, is now going to go to 45 degrees. And the left knee bends. So the left knee is tracking above the ankle. Then the torso is going to face towards that left leg. The arms rise up. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Feel the strength in the legs. Feel the soles of the feet grounded down. Notice that you're supporting your entire body in this standing foundation. Now on your next exhale, open your arms, set it up for warrior two. This means that that right foot now turns to 90, and we want to set ourselves up for our body's comfort. So either the left heel is in line with the right heel, or the left heel is in line with the arch of the right foot. You decide, but keep a bend in that left knee. Now fingers are reaching opposite directions. Remember, we don't want the torso going forward and we don't want it going back. We want to keep it centered, and then we gaze to our left middle finger. Strong posture. Lots of activation and strengthening happening here. Enjoy and prepare to move. As you inhale, straighten the left leg. Let the arms float up. Exhale, bend the left knee. And again, inhale, arms float up, leg straightens. Exhale, it's warrior two. One more. So we're back to warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2, and we're going to set up for Trikonasana triangle. So first we want to press into that left leg. Then we're going to reach the left fingers forward, feel that right hip, send it back, and then rotate the arms. So the back of the left hand comes to the left inner thigh. The right fingers reach up. Now some people like to take their hand to a block. Your bottom hand can support itself on a block. This is up to you if you have a block for your practice. So the top fingers are reaching up as if you're trying to tap the ceiling. And then maybe you look up, swiveling the chest open. If at any point you're looking up and that's uncomfortable for your neck, you can rotate your head to face down to the mat. Strong posture. Stick with it. It's almost time to come out. Transition to warrior two. Then, as you bring the arms down, straighten the left foot, turn the left toes, same direction as the right toes. So we're back into our wide-legged stance. From here, press the pinky edges of the feet into the mat. You might feel the arches lift up and feel a nice stretch at the feet. Hold and breathe here. Now this is a great opportunity to come back to your Ujjayi Pranayama breath, this ocean sounding breath. This technique is awesome. Inhale through the nostrils. Exhale, keep the mouth closed. Hear the sound originating from the base of the throat. And then try a couple more rounds. Now, hands to the hips. We're going to bring the feet closer together. So start to heel toe the feet together. We're coming back to our standing foundation, our Tadasana pose. And now we're going to put those things together. So far you've learned Tadasana, mountain pose. You've learned Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2, and Trikonasana. We're going to put those 5 postures together in a little sequence. So bring your feet to the top of the mat. And we're going to go in the order that we learned these. So first we're just going to find that standing foundation. Maybe rock towards the toes and then back towards the heels. Just give yourself a moment to get really grounded. Root down through the feet, but rise up through the crown of the head. Arms by your sides. Now, relax the shoulders. Maybe take another shoulder roll just to remind the shoulders to melt away from the ears. Starting our sequence in Tadasana. And then from here, inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Remember your option to incorporate the blocks. On your next inhale, it's Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. And then from here, we'll bend the knees, we'll rise up, we'll take our hands to our hips. Shift the weight into the right leg. Lift the left foot, step it back, bring the left foot to 45 degrees, keep a bend in the right knee. Float the arms up, gaze is forward, Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. From here, we'll continue to move and flow through our practice, opening the arms, rotate that left foot to 90 degrees, set it up. This is our Warrior 2. Gaze is at the right middle finger, Virabhadrasana 2. And from here, we'll set up for Trikonasana, triangle. Press into that right foot, straighten the right leg, send the left hip back, reach the right fingers forward, and then rotate the arms for triangle. Pause, hold, breathe. Notice where you're feeling the stretch. On the next inhale, lift the arms up. Take the hands to the hips. Take a little micro bend in the right knee and then step the left foot forward. Back to our standing position of mountain pose, Tadasana, arms by our sides. Palms are facing forward. Now before we do that sequence on the other side, just give yourself a reflective pause here. Take a micro bend in the knees. Pull the belly button towards the spine. And just notice the right leg. Notice the left leg. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Preparing to move. Inhale, reach the arms up, fingertips towards the sky, palms connect. Exhale, hinge at the hips, lower the hands. Fold forward, coming into Uttanasana. And when you're ready to inhale, take your palms to your shins. Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Micro bend in the knees, rise up. Hands are gonna find the hips. Now shift the weight into the left foot, lift the right foot, step it back. Land that right foot to 45 degrees. Keep a bend in the left knee. Now reach the arms up, gaze forward. Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Press the feet to the mat. Just become aware of where you feel the sensation in your physical body. Preparing to transition to Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. We're going to open the arms out and rotate that right foot to 90 degrees. So the pinky edge of the right foot is parallel to the back of the mat. The left knee is bent. The fingers are reaching in opposite directions. Gaze is to the left middle finger. Press to the pinky side of the right foot. Warrior 2. Prepare to transition to Trikonasana, triangle pose. Press the left foot to the mat, straighten the left leg. Reach the left fingers forward, send the right hip back. Now just rotate the arms. Back of the left hand finds the left inner thigh. Right fingers are reaching up to the sky. Trikonasana, triangle. Remember, you can gaze up Or you can look down. This is up to you. Breathe. Find that Ujjayi Pranayama breath. And then as you carefully rotate the arms back to Virabhadrasana 2, bend that left knee. Take your hands to your hips. Straighten the leg. Now, you want to use your energy to step the right foot forward back to Tadasana mountain pose. Palms are facing forward, feet are at hip distance, micro bend the knees, pull the belly button towards the spine. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe just close your eyes, but if closing your eyes affects your balance, leave your eyes open. And now just take a moment to connect with your physical body. Notice how the left side feels. Notice how the right side feels. And then notice your breath. Take a moment to lengthen the breath. Take a moment to find that Ujjayi Pranayama, ocean sounding breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils. Hearing the sound coming from the base of the throat. And if the eyes are closed, start to flutter them open. Now, keeping the practice of that Ujjayi Pranayama breath, we're now going to come into a standing balance. We are going to practice tree pose on both sides, Vrksasana. So tree pose can be done in the free space on your mat, or if you feel that you want support, you can step over to a wall space, and you really only need enough space for one hand to be at the wall. So take yourself wherever you need to in the room. Now in our tree pose, we're gonna do one side at a time. So just lift the toes of the foot that's gonna be your foundational foot, spread the toes, shift weight into that leg, and then lift the heel of your opposite leg. Now scoot the toes of your lifted heel leg over to your foundational foot. I'm going to give you a few different options for our tree pose today, Vrksasana. This is option 1, keeping the toes down. This is going to give you the most amount of stability. You can still bring your hand to a wall if you'd like. Now, if you feel pretty comfortable here and you feel like you could go further, lift your toes off the mat and bring the sole of your foot to your standing leg calf muscle. You might bring your hands to your hips. Just avoid placing your foot on your knee. Definitely don't want to have your foot anywhere near your knee. Now, you might feel your standing foot working really hard here. This might be enough. Remember, the wall is your friend. Use it for support if you need to. If you're super comfortable and you want to take it even higher up on the challenge level, take the hand of the bent knee, reach it down. At the same time, lift your foot. Connect your hand to your ankle and guide the sole of your foot to the inner thigh of the standing leg. Now notice that this is not only a standing balance pose, but it's also a hip opener. We've got external rotation on the bent knee leg, so the knee should be open out to the side rather than coming forward. Now pay attention to really press that standing foot down. You're supporting your entire body with one foot. It's pretty awesome what the body can do. You still have the option of taking your hand to the wall. You have the option of bringing your hands to your heart center. Tree pose. You have the option of growing your branches. And just notice how that shifts things for you. Now, if your hands are lifted, gently bring them down. Let the hands connect to the hips. As you inhale, disconnect your foot. And then as you exhale, take your foot down. Now shift weight to that foot, lift the heel of the leg that was just your foundational leg, and with the heel lifted, draw circles with your knee. So we're releasing tension from the arch of the foot because we've really been supporting ourselves there. And then circle around opposite direction. All right, now opposite leg is the foundational leg. Lift the toes, spread them wide. Keeping the heel lifted, slide the toes over to the foot. Option 1. Starting point, this is a great place to start. Option 2, you can lift your foot and place it on the calf muscle of the standing leg. Just feel into the balance. Give yourself a moment to get adjusted here. And if you feel in your body that you could challenge yourself even more, then you're gonna assist bringing the sole of the foot to the inner thigh of the standing leg. So hip opener, knees out to the side, external rotation for this hip. Remember, you can use the wall for support. The wall is an awesome prop. Use it if it's available to you. Now remember, your hands can stay on your hips, or you can bring your palms together, thumbs at the heart center, tree pose. You can grow your tree branches, YogAsana. Give yourself time. Feel the work in the standing leg, gaining strength, and also working with our balance, finding growth in our physical body through our practice. Maybe you take a moment to find that Ujjayi pranayama breath. And if the arms are lifted, slowly start to bring them down. Find the hips. And then disconnect the foot, lift the knee, take it down, ground down on this foot, lift the heel of the standing leg, and then draw circles with the knee. Feel that tension releasing from the bottom of the foot. This is a really awesome counter stretch. And then draw circles opposite direction. All right. Now both feet ground down. Just take a moment, see how your body feels, shake out the shoulders. We're coming to the top of the mat, back to our friend Tadasana, mountain pose. And from Tadasana, as we inhale, we'll reach the fingers up, connect the palms. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Come into Uttanasana, standing forward fold. And then as you inhale, palms to the shins, Ardha Uttanasana. From here, back to Uttanasana. Bending the knees, palms to the mat. Remember, you can use your blocks or a chair, whatever works. So we're transitioning down to the mat. So I'm going to lift one foot, bring the shin down, and then gently lift the other foot, bring the shin down. Take the feet out to one side so that you can come on to a comfortable seat. Now, as you come onto your comfortable seat, take a moment. We just spent the majority of class standing. Give yourself a moment to notice how it feels to now ground down. You might find that this is comfortable to sit directly onto the mat. If you've got issues with your knees, you're going to find it more comfortable to position a prop underneath your seat to lift the hips higher than the knees. Alternatively, you can open the legs in front rather than having the knees bent. You might find that sitting on a pillow or a blanket is even more comfortable. So just look around your area, grab whatever you need, and find this comfortable seat. So this is called Sukhasana, sweet seat or easy seat. The more comfortable you can get yourself, the sweeter it's going to feel. So really find that sweet seat. And from here, we're gonna practice eagle arms. So the eagle pose can be done with the arms, it can be done with the legs, it can be done with the arms and the legs at the same time, and that would be a more challenging standing balance. We're just gonna practice the eagle arms from a seated position. So this is Garundasana. Eagle is Garundasana. So as we inhale, we'll take the fingers out, reaching fingers opposite direction. And then as we exhale, we'll take one arm above the other. Now we bend the elbows. Maybe the hands connect, so the back of the hands could come together, or the palms could meet, or maybe there's space. That's okay, just gonna depend on how your shoulders feel. Now let's practice keeping the shoulders low and just lift the elbows. And as you lift the elbows, feel a nice stretch at the shoulder of the top arm. Hold and breathe here. One more round of breath. Exhale, lower the elbows, unwind the arms. Inhale, reach the fingers out. Exhale, bring opposite arm on top, bend the elbows. See if the hands come near each other. Maybe they connect. Keep those shoulders low. Lift the elbows. Hold and breathe. Give yourself time to get the benefit of this nice, deep stretch. Feel space being created at the upper back. Let the tension go. Exhale, lower the elbows, unwind the arms. Inhale, reach them out. And then exhale, take them down. Relax the shoulders. Maybe you tuck the chin towards the chest. Feel a stretch at the back of the neck. Maybe you take half circles, bringing one ear above the same side shoulder. And then exhale, taking it to the other side. So we're inhaling to one direction. Exhaling opposite direction. And simply noticing if we feel tension on either side of the neck. If one side feels tighter than the other, give yourself permission to pause there, to breathe into it longer. Start to even out the sides. Find your way back to center. In your time, when you're ready, lift your chin. Gaze back to center. We've got a couple more postures to do, so I'm just going to turn the direction so you can see what I'm doing. Straightening the legs, bring the feet together. And what I like to do is to take my left hand to the back of my left glute, pull the glute back, and then I'll do that on the right side. So this helps me feel more grounded in my seat. So when I bring my hands outside of my hips, this is Dandasana, staff pose. As you inhale, you'll lift the fingers up. And from Dandasana, staff pose, we're going to transition into Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold, hinging at the hips just like we do in Uttanasana, but now we're seated rather than standing. And then we just fold the upper body towards the lower body. Now in this variation, the legs are straight, feeling a nice stretch at the hamstrings and in the back. Now, I'm going to give you another option. If you rather just focus on your back and you're feeling too much tension at your legs, you can take blocks, blanket, pillow, whatever you have underneath your knees, create a little space between the feet, and then fold forward again. So this is if you just want to focus on the back space. I recommend lowering your head to get a deeper stretch in the back. So when I do this, I can feel a stretch in my entire back, This is an area where I hold tension, so I really like to let that tension go. Now for me, I'm feeling that my hamstrings are also tight today, so I'm going to come back to the first option. Paschimottanasana, unsupported, keeping the legs down, folding my upper body towards my legs. Now you might have your arms outside of your legs. You might take your hands to your ankles. You might be flexible enough to take your hands to your feet. Notice that the deeper you fold, the more you're going to feel sensation in the back space. Now you don't want to push yourself too hard because we're cooling down. But if you're really, really flexible and your hands move past your feet, you can take a block to your feet. Hands are going to find the block and then fold again. Just if you need a deeper stretch. Don't push yourself to the point of pain or major discomfort. Let's explore 2 more rounds of breath. If you're working with the block, you can release it. And to come out, we'll slowly lift the head. Slow, slow, slow. No rush. Back to our staff pose, Dandasana. Option to keep the legs straight or option to come back into bent knees. You decide. So from whichever seated posture that you decide to take, we are going to come back to our Ujjayi Pranayama breath. So we're going to have another opportunity to practice it and learn some more about it. So this breath technique helps to still the mind and prana. So prana is that life force energy. This is going to result in a sense of deep inner stillness and peace. So at the end of our practice, we really want to invite that peacefulness in. This way we can send ourselves into Shavasana in a more calm state. This is also why the cool down period is important. So Ujjayi Pranayama, think of it as another tool to add to your toolbox. It is a breath technique that's also going to assist you in your practice. At this point in our practice, it's going to encourage our mind to rest, its awareness on the present moment, and identify with the immediate experience that we're having. So we started our class trying Ujjayi Pranayama standing. Now we're going to have the experience seated. So if you struggled with it in the beginning or at some point in the middle of the class, know that you can start off by having your hand in front of your face. Inhale through your nostrils. Exhale, open your mouth, feel your breath on your hand. Imagine that you're fogging a mirror. And again, inhale through the nostrils. Exhale, open the mouth. Inhale through the nostrils. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Now, option to stay with the hand up, exhaling with the mouth open, or option to lower the hand and try now breathing in through the nostrils and breathing out through the nostrils. So inhale, exhale, keep the mouth closed. Hear the sound originating from the base of the throat. Try again. Inhale all the way to the top of the breath. Exhale, let it go. Mouth is closed. Try a few more rounds. Stay with this breath. Or start to transition to a neutral breath, breathing without force or control. Exhale, relax the shoulders down. If the eyes are closed, flutter them open. Now remember that the breath happens all the time. Most of the time we're not even aware. We don't even think about the fact that we're breathing. It just happens. Think about Ujjayi Pranayama as a tool at the start of your practice and at the end of your practice. So as a transitional tool, when you're going from whatever you were doing in the beginning of your day to your practice, Ujjayi Pranayama is going to help you to get centered. It's going to help you lengthen the breath, taking in more air, releasing stagnant energy, helping to energize that life force energy within you. Also, at the end of your practice, it helps you to get calm, back to being centered, to set you up for Shavasana. So at this point of the practice, I'm going to give you the option to come into Shavasana. Y'all know, you've heard me say before, this is a very, very important part of the practice. Whenever you're practicing at home, depending on your personality, you might have the urge to stop your practice when the movement stops. That's up to you. It's your practice, it's your life, it's your body. For those of you that really want a full rounded class, Shavasana is so important. It's that time of integrating the work that you've done. It's also time to be present with yourself and allowing your body to be in stillness without the pressure of constantly going, doing. Now we're just practicing being. So in your home practice, I will suggest to you that you take 5 minutes of Shavasana for every 30 minutes of movement. So if you're in an hour-long class and you're doing 60 minutes of movement, then you're going to want a 10-minute Shavasana. If you're doing 30 minutes of movement, you'll want 5 minutes. Typically in our classes, we're doing 50 minutes of movement, and so 7 to 8 minutes would be a good time frame. So at this point in your practice, you might set an alarm for how long you want to be in Shavasana and let yourself set up for it if that's an option that you want to take. So remember your options. Because I have the blocks handy, I'm going to show you the option of bringing the blocks underneath the low legs. This is going to really support the low back. Know that you don't have to take this option. You might take the traditional Shavasana where the legs and the arms are grounded down in that star shape. I find that the legs lifted on props is a really comfortable experience for the low back because it helps to ease that gap at the low back. And maybe you have a different shape that you like to take in your Shavasana. Whatever that is that you like, please feel free to take it now. Inhale through the nostrils. Exhale, let it go. Maybe you take this time to work with your Ujjayi Pranayama breath, making that ocean sound. Maybe you take a moment to get the wiggles out if you need to. Just taking any little movements you need to get adjusted, ground down. And once you get to the point of grounding down, tuck your chin to your chest. Lengthen the back of the neck. Close your eyes. Stay as long as you'd like. If you've got the time, let yourself rest. Feel the foundation of the ground supporting you. Know that at this point, we'll close our practice together. And you're welcome to continue to stay in your Shavasana for the amount of time that you feel you personally need based on your practice today. Thank you so much for showing up and allowing me to guide you. Namaste.